Good morning. This is Dr. Hansa Das, Department of History, Nirmala College, Ranchi. Today we are going to deal with the New Deal. New Deal, which was introduced by President Franklin D. Roosevelt, the American president, after the Great Depression had dismantled the entire economy of not only America but a number of other nations. In the last video, we had talked about the Great Depression and the manner in which it had disrupted and dismantled the entire American economy, and along with the American economy, many economies of Europe as well. Today we will deal with the New Deal, which incorporates the measures undertaken by Franklin D. Roosevelt to get over the crisis of the Great Depression. Oscar Handlin commented that the New Deal was a creative response to the long crisis in American economic development, for industrial recovery, for relief of the millions of the needy, and for reform of the whole productive system. The New Deal episode basically marks the first in the history of reform movements to confront the problems of a sick economy. The Great Depression had its origin in USA in 1929, and its effects were extremely grave and felt by most of the European economies as well. When Franklin D. Roosevelt took over, he started a program of reform known as the New Deal. Historians have differently interpreted the New Deal, but the basic intention of the New Deal was to check the process of deflation and bankruptcy, and also to restore business confidence by bringing about an increase in prices, wages, and consumer purchasing power, which had seen a drastic fall during the Great Depression. Former President Hoover said that New Deal professed the 3 R's of relief, recovery, and reform. Some authors said that it was more evolutionary than revolutionary. Eric F. Goldman said that it was similar to Theodore Roosevelt's New Naturalism and Woodrow Wilson's New Freedom. Carl N. Degler called it the Third American Revolution, the first being the Revolution of 1776, the second, Civil War. Edgar E. Robinson considered the New Deal as a sharp break with the past, but deplored it. Young radicals of the 1960s criticized the New Deal for having preserved too many of the evils of capitalism. Now, the basic nature of New Deal was relief, recovery, and reform. And under relief, recovery, and program, a number of measures were adopted. The first of which was the emergency relief, which was to feed the millions of hungry and unemployed, and a number of programs were undertaken under the bracket of emergency relief. The first was the Federal Emergency Relief Administration, or FERA. It was to distribute funds to the local authorities, but recovery lagged and some new way had to be found to care for the unemployed through the winter of 1933-34. The second was the Civil Works Administration, or CWA, which was a temporary work relief program. And between November and April, it put 4 million people to work at emergency projects. The work also raised the morale of the unemployed and increased their buying power by $950 million. Works Progress Administration, WPA, provided work for the unemployed. Similarly, the Civilian Conservation Corps, CCC, also provided employment. Then we have the Farm Credit Administration, FCA. Franklin D. Roosevelt quickly consolidated all farm credit organizations into a new Farm Credit Administration for providing mortgage relief. And the last in the emergency relief bracket was called the Reconstruction Finance Corporation, RFC. RFC continued to function as the key loan agency for relief to business. Creditors were paid off. Debtors benefited through a considerable reduction in interest rates, and the total amount of debt was substantially reduced. Now, under relief, recovery, and reform, the next aspect was agriculture, and the main development in agricultural field was called the Agricultural Adjustment Act, AAA. It was the main pillar of the original recovery program, and it sought to reduce farm production and raise farm prices. However, critics of AAA declared that it was economic insanity to pay people for producing less. Industry and labor, a number of reforms were brought about. The first was the National Recovery Act, NRA. It was passed in 1933 and was probably the most important and by far the far-reaching measure adopted to effect recovery. It had three outstanding features. The first was called the Public Works Administration, or PWA. It was designed to stimulate industry by a program of direct spending. National Recovery Administration (NRA) was the second one, which tried to abolish child labor, lowered working hours, fixed minimum wages, and took other steps to eliminate unfair competition in industry. The third aspect was the National Labour Relations Board (NLRB). It conceded the right of the labor to organize and bargain collectively through representatives of their own choosing. Now, under the Relief, Recovery and Reform program, the next was conservation, in which the first was the Tennis Valley Authority (TVA), by far the most reaching of the New Deal reform measures, and by 1940 it had completed 7 dams and brought about marked improvements in standards of living throughout the valley. Soil Conservation Service was set up in 1934, and it set out to persuade farmers to adopt terraced farming and other conservation practices. Then we also have Civilian Conservation Corps under the Conservation Program, which also contributed significantly. Money and banking was the next bracket under which the Relief, Recovery and Reform program of Franklin D. Roosevelt worked. The first was the Emergency Banking Act for curbing speculation by banks. Then we have the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation, which insured depositors against bank collapse, making them more willing to put their funds in the custody of banks. And finally, the last aspect which was covered by the New Deal program of Franklin D. Roosevelt was for workers' welfare. The Social Security Act, which provided 2 types of assistance for the aged, for those who were destitute and those working. It also provided for unemployment insurance. Then we have the Works Progress Administration, which provided work for the unemployed. National Youth Administration (NYA), it was a sort of junior WPA which aided young people between 16 and 25. United States Housing Authority (USHA) began lending money to local governments for the constitution of low-cost housing. Now, after we've dealt with the different aspects of the Relief, Recovery and Reform program of Roosevelt's New Deal, it is time to look at the results of the New Deal, which incorporated both shortcomings and achievements. Let us look at the shortcomings first. In its primary objective, that is revival of full employment and production, it had obviously failed. There were still many persons unemployed, and national product had not gone up much. There had been little new investment. And in fact, the opponents declared that by attacking private enterprise, imposing bureaucratic regulations, increasing the national debt, the government had created uncertainty in which business expansion was impossible. Progressives argued that the New Deal had failed because it had not gone far enough. They called for a more drastic redistribution of income in order to expand the purchasing power of the people. Now, there were also achievements of the New Deal. Although the New Deal did not restore prosperity, it did introduce a new spirit into public affairs. It restored public morale through its forward-looking attitude, and by insisting that the government must find work for the people, it changed despair into hope. Through its public works program, it added immeasurably to the national heritage, and its peripheral activities like TVA, construction of dams, rural electrification, etc. were its most satisfying achievements. Now, for a very judicious assessment of the New Deal, incorporating the achievements as well as the shortcomings, we could say that both the opponents and admirers of the New Deal sometimes described it as revolutionary. But calling the New Deal as revolutionary would be an exaggeration. There was no change in the ownership and control of basic economic enterprises, but the New Deal did make 2 general changes in the economic system. The first, it had given direct protection to farmers and wage earners, and had thereby built up big agriculture and big labor as checks on the power of big business. And secondly, it had given the federal government much broader responsibilities for regulating the movements of the economy, providing security and protecting the underprivileged groups. We've done with the New Deal program. I hope I have covered all the aspects related with it, and hope you find the video advantageous. Thank you.